Hey everybody, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me for my comic book review for this week of November 2015. Yeah, running late again. Life happens. What you gonna do? Been rather busy here lately. In fact, now that I mention it, I'm going to do a special video for my Blugoblin X channel here very soon. When I get the time to, I'm going to be doing a special stash video and showing off what I got at a Comic-Con here in my local area. It's called Comic Conway. It was down in Conway, Arkansas. Jennifer and I went and checked this out. I'm going to be showing off what I got now. Whether or not she wants to show off what she got, I'll leave that up to her. But I scored big time at that place. And I can't wait to show off what I got. But onto the books for this review. And go by my Twitter and Tumblr pages because I just posted some Marvel digital codes. If you're looking for a free Marvel book, now would be the time to go check those out. So don't miss out on some free books. We're going to start with indies and then work through the big two. We're going to start with IDW. We're going to start with Back to the Future #2. Now look, I know some brilliant minds and a brilliant creative team on this series. Issue 1 really disappointed me. Not going to lie. But issue 2 I thought was actually pretty good. Now, this is how you do untold tales and alternate timelines. This is how you do it. Basically, we learn how Doc Brown lost his big mansion leading up, because if you saw the first movie, his big mansion's there in 1955, but in 1985, it's not there. All he has is his laboratory. And in here, we get to find out how exactly that happened. Now, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but all I'll say is pretty damn clever. In fact, Doc even has a dream in which, he tries to find a way to get around because now he knows what I will say about the first story is he knows what his future self did to build the DeLorean time machine. And he tries to find a way around that. And he has a dream on what may happen should he try to do it. And all I'll say is, damn. But the story overall was pretty good. The second story, it is what it is. It wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. This wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it was certainly better than issue 1 was. A decent job, barely above average, but in my opinion, this series could be a little better. Lots of speeding cars around here. But, yeah, I still think this series could be done a little better. I'll give this issue a 3. Alright, going to Dynamite and Dark Horse Comics with Red Sonja Conan #4. Now, I know this didn't come out for this particular week of comics. This is a reorder from a shortage, but I decided to go ahead and review it here. Victor Gischler, still doing a nice job. But Castro's artwork, my God, I want more of this. I want more of Sonja and Conan drawn by this guy. Castro's artwork is just fantastic. And of course, Victor Gischler's writing is really good. Sonja and Conan dealing with an old foe that they fought together years ago. I'm sure you already know who it is. But I love their chemistry. I love how they worked together in this. This was awesome. Really good. It's like Sonja and Conan, throughout this whole series, it's like the creative team knew they had to, they're romantically linked, but they know when to put their romantic feelings aside and work as friendly allies when they have to do battle. And I really loved that. This was, Good stuff. Really good stuff. Awesome. An awesome issue. Nonetheless. Was it perfect? No. But I enjoyed it very damn much. Gets a 4. Alright, starting with Marvel. Now, when I file this away, I'm probably going to file it with the W's, but it starts with an A. All New Wolverine, #1. The best at what she does. I agree with my bro, Chris, TheMtVernonKid. I watched his review of this, and I completely agree with him. If there's anybody who should take up the mantle of Wolverine, now that James Howlett, Logan, our Logan, is gone, if anybody should take up that mantle, it should be X-23. It should be Laura. And for those of you who say, "Oh, it should have been Dakin who got the mantle," newsflash, folks, Marvel already tried that and it failed. No, we're not going to retry that. I'd prefer this. As far as the introductory issue to Laura as Wolverine, this was really good. Really good. Kind of find it a bit eerie that the story takes place in Paris, of all places. And by the way, my hats off to all those people who lost their lives in Paris, to all the families who lost their loved ones in that attack. By the way, my hats off and respect to all those people out there in Paris. Okay, now that I've sent my condolences, I can get back to reviewing this. Like I said, find it kind of eerie, but I'm sure it's a coincidence that they released this book and it takes place in Paris around the same time a real terrorist attack happened in Paris. But yeah, Laura's trying to stay inconspicuous, but by the end of the issue, she's like, what the hell? It's time they see Wolverine in action, because of the events that happened in Uncanny X-Men 600, now humans hate and fear mutants now more than ever before. It's almost like now a human sees a mutant, shoot to kill mutant. And you know, we see Angel in here. We get a very funny scene between Angel and Laura in here. Really good stuff. But when Laura finds the assassin that she's trailing, ooh, fantastic beginning issue. I mean, it's far above your standard introductory issue. I mean, this was really good. I mean, it's not the best stuff I've ever read, but man, this is really good. I was very impressed by how good this was. Nicely done. And I like the little flashback scene between Laura and Logan, you know, that took place some time ago, back when they were both in X-Force. Really good. Awesome job. I commend Mr. Taylor. Mr. Tom Earth 2 Taylor. This is really good shit. This also gets a 4. I'm going to be really generous this time around. Moving on to the all-new, All Different Avengers #1. Mark Waid on an Avengers title. Thank you, Marvel. Man, this was good. This was really good. And don't get fooled by this beautiful Alex Ross cover. There's no Vision. There's no Thor. There's no Ultimate Spider-Man. The key players in here are Cap, Ms. Marvel, Nova, and Iron Man. The first story is a Cap and Iron Man storyline. Now, this right here, I gotta say something about Tony Stark. He really came off looking really butthurt about Parker Industries in this issue. Why I say that? You need to read this and find out. You know, Cap, Sam, I think he's doing a good job as Captain America, and he's in a bit of a dilemma, a funny one. making a difficult decision with his last $5, and he asks Tony for help, and he's like, because Tony is not as rich as he used to be anymore, and I'll just leave it at that. Really good story, and they're really focusing on the Chitauri, or however you pronounce it. They're really focusing on these creatures in this issue. And the second story with Ms. Marvel and Nova was really good. I loved how those characters were written, really awkward moments between the two of them. It's just, wow. It felt like a teen drama written the right way. It's just really, really good stuff. A solid, strong, powerful beginning to what promises to be a really good series from Marvel. My salute to Mr. Mark Waid and to Kubert and Asrar for brilliant artwork. This was a solid issue, and I highly recommend you pick this up. Or go to my Tumblr and Twitter pages and see if you can get the code while you still can. A 4. 4 out of 5. Moving on to Darth Vader number 12. Gillen LaRocca. Beautiful shit, man. The Force is strong in this, man. I can tell you, man. The Force is really strong in this motherfucker. Oh my god, this is really good. I love the 000 droid, or as some people, I've seen some people online call him Black 3PO, and I'm like, whatever. I call him 000, and he's just a badass character. I mean, couldn't we have gotten him instead of 3PO? Jesus. This was good. Vader's homing it. Vader's trying to, conduct this chase of the Rebel Alliance his own way and stuff like that. All the while, keeping his working relationship with Dr. Aphra a secret. Yet, Vader's just one little Force choke away from ending that relationship whenever he sees fit. I mean, this is good stuff. Really good stuff. I'm personally loving this series, and it's going to continue on in the next big story event called Vader Down. I'm looking forward to that. This was a solid read. I enjoyed it, and Vader has some badass moments in here. Just fucking fantastic. I'm loving this series. This gets a 4 as well. Some really good books this week. And it's funny I say that, and now I picked this up. Secret Wars. No. Oh, sorry. Secret Wars number 7. Okay, I'm awake. I promise. I'm awake. Jonathan Hickman. Jonathan Hickman writing the book. Oh, it was 7 of 9. Was 8, now it's 9. As if we needed this story to be dragged down any fucking longer. Look, all joking aside, this was a smidge bit better than the rest of the series has been. But then again, that's not exactly a compliment. This story is still boring as shit. Too much dialogue, too much dilemma, too much doom is God bullshit, and I just don't fucking care. I don't care. Oh. So many things going on in here, and I just don't have enough energy to stay awake long enough to give a good goddamn about what the fuck is going on in here. Marvel, this is hands down one of the most boring event stories you've ever put out. And I'm trying... Y'all know me, guys. I'm brutally honest. I call it like I see it. If you love the Secret Wars storyline, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I personally think it's as entertaining as stale bread. This is bullshit how boring it is. Hickman is a great writer. He can write better than this. You don't need excessive dialogue and monotonous storytelling that nobody's really going to care about to sell a fucking story. I just, I don't get it. I'm only sticking with it because I've started so far, I might as well finish it. I want to complete the series and add a complete storyline to my collection. That is literally the only reason why I'm still buying this. If this was a regular ongoing series, I would have dropped it a long time ago. But it's a mini-series. I've started the collection. I might as well finish it. Because I don't see myself getting the goddamn trade. This barely, and I'm being generous here, this barely comes off as an average read at best. 2.5. I'm being nice. It's not horrible. It's just boring. Moving on to Spider-Gwen number 2. You know, I think this is actually number 7 because, you know, shout out again to my bro Chris. This was a series that didn't need to be renumbered. It really didn't, because it's continuing on from the previous volume. It's like it never ended. You're just continuing on. So I'd say this is number 7, technically, if you want to, you know, be correctly. I believe it's number 7 now. And I think it is. But yeah, but let's call it Spider-Gwen number 2. In here, we saw the arrival of this world's Captain America, and it's a girl. Her name is Sam Wilson. I'm assuming that's short for Samantha. We also get to see this world's version of the Falcon, and we also get to see who's running S.H.I.E.L.D. in here. Now, that I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to give that away. We're also being told more details, small ones, but more details about Peter Parker's death, you know, what's going on, how Samantha Wilson ended up becoming Captain America. A nice backstory. Not exactly original, but it's a decent one, and I liked it. Not bad. This was actually a pretty solid issue. I'll give it points. It had its ups and downs, but overall I did enjoy it, and I give it a 3.5. Oh, man. I was torn. It's either this or a book that I got from DC that ended up being my pick of the week. And this just barely got it. Just barely got it. This is my pick of the week, folks. Spider-Man 2099, number 3. Peter David and Slimy. Oh. Peter David, your writing just gives me a fucking nerdgasm. I love this stuff. This is really good. Miguel has tracked down the man who killed his girlfriend, Tempest. And we get to see who this person is. In the last issue, found out more about him and actually tracked him down. And here, he confronts him. And when he confronts him, shit gets real serious like that. It is hardball action, really good character development. This had drama and tension and action all at the same time, right in your fucking face. It's like Miguel has this guy down, and he starts beating him, minor spoilers, starts beating him to the point where he actually feels his own knuckles breaking by punching him so hard. Proportional strength of a spider, by the way. Pew, pew, pew. And he starts to feel his knuckles breaking, but he doesn't care. He's out for blood, and he's even questioning his own sanity in this issue. It's just, he doesn't flat out point that out, but it just, the way the story is told, the way the art and the action flows, that's what you think, and it's just really good. And then that cliffhanger, god damn, that cliffhanger, Peter David, what are you drinking? Why aren't you sharing it? This is awesome. This was really good. Solid read. That cliffhanger just wanted to make me walk up the fucking walls. This was incredible. Incredible read. Fantastic stuff. Loved every bit of it. This gets a 4.5 from me. Moving on to DC, starting DC off with Batman number 46. You gotta love that Looney Tunes cover. But in here, it's about time for Jim Gordon, for Batman, to go one-on-one with Mr. Bloom. And all I'm going to say is, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good at all. Scott Snyder kind of sort of pulls a Peter David at the end of the issue. Gordon is still a little bit at odds with the GCPD. You know, he wants one more crack at being Batman. He wants to go it alone against Mr. Bloom. They're saying, don't do it. You're basically committing suicide. And he's like, well, then it was an honor working with you and all that shit. Meanwhile, you got the Robin gang working out with their own stuff. But overall, solid read, really good, and a nice big uh-oh kind of cliffhanger at the end. Really well done. This gets a 3.5. Alright. Batman Beyond number 6. Dan Jurgens, Bernard Chang, just really good. This is the conclusion to the Brother Eye storyline. And I thought it wrapped up really well. Now, it doesn't exactly win points for originality because how they dealt with Brother Eye in here, I've seen this scenario done a million times. But somehow Dan Jurgens was able to take this stock cliche scenario when it comes to action movies, superhero storylines, or whatever. He was able to take this stock cliche angle and somehow still make it captivating and still make it work. But it's still, the book still loses points for unoriginality here because, yeah, it's just the way they dealt with Brother Eye. I was like, huh, I'm glad they dealt with him, but really? You're going to go there? Oh well. Seen it before, I'll see it again. And I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line, somebody else is going to use this exact same angle and probably do it similar to what I saw in here. But that's all I'm going to say because I don't really, even though I've seen what they did in here, I've seen it done a million times, and I'll probably see it a million more times before I'm rolling in the dirt. The fact is, it was still a decent read. It was still good. I still think it wrapped up everything pretty nicely, and DC did a good job with it. Not perfect. Certainly not perfect. But still a pretty damn good read, and it gets a 3.5. Moving on to Bombshells number 4. The main selling point of this book was Harley Quinn. I like Harley Quinn in this book. She's Harley. I mean, there's no other way to describe her. She's just fucking nuts. That's the best way to put her. I mean, she was done very well in here, in my opinion. And you got the stuff with Wonder Woman. Actually, I thought the stuff with Wonder Woman was actually done pretty well. I mean, this has actually been a very surprisingly entertaining series. I really recommend. I think this will probably go down as a very underrated series. I think this has actually been some pretty good stuff. I do talk to other people about it. It does get praise, but just like Red Lanterns, I don't really see enough people talking about it. Maybe I'm not going to the right places to see other people talk about this. Maybe I'm not. But the people I do see talk about this, they all seem to say what I'm saying, that this stuff is pretty damn good. But one thing I personally get a kick out of is anytime Wonder Woman is talking to Steve Trevor, she calls him by his full name. What do you think we should do, Steve Trevor? It's like, Steve Trevor, go over there and hide over there. You're not fully healed. We did it, Steve Trevor! I personally get a kick out of that. That is probably one of the most entertaining running gags of this series, and I really like it. But like I said, it's a fun series. It's really well done. The stuff with Supergirl and Stargirl was actually really good too. I almost forgot about them. That was actually some pretty good stuff too. Very nicely done. Gets a 3.5. Alright. Starfire number 6. Conan and Palmiotti, I gotta say, you are finally taking this in a direction you need to take it. You're finally going somewhere in the right direction with this. This was actually really good. But still, that's not saying that much because it still needs to be taken even further to get it away from that Harley Quinn-esque style of storytelling. You still got a lot of work to do if you want to differentiate this series from Harley Quinn. Not everything needs to be written in that Harley Quinn-like style, but you are taking steps in the right direction with this. This was actually pretty good. You got Starfire starting to act more like she should. You know, she wants to help people, yet when you piss her off, she can lose control and she has to get a grip on herself and, you know, and focus, otherwise she'll lose sight of herself and just go fucking nuts and might actually kill you. I like that they're diving back into that small little aspect about her character. And there's a bounty hunter coming for her in this issue, and I love how she dealt with him. She was close to killing him, but she chose to hold back her rage. And I love how she dealt with him. And in here, Corey didn't come off too much like a naive little idiot. She actually starts to show a little bit more of her intelligence in here, and I really appreciate that, DC, and I really appreciate that too. I also want to say that to Miss Connor and Mr. Palmiotti. But then I saw that cliffhanger. That cliffhanger. All I gotta say is, Miss Connor, Mr. Palmiotti, you've got a wonderful opportunity to give your own spin on what you're brewing up in here. With this cliffhanger, all I'm going to say is, please, for the love of Tamaran, do not fuck this up. You got a good opportunity to wrap up some loose ends, give us some backstory if you want to later on down the line, but you got a good opportunity to shit out a really good story based on what I saw at the end of this book. Please, don't screw it up. Please don't. This was good though. Gets a 3.5. Now on to the book that came close to being pick of the week but just missed it. Superman American Alien #1. Landis Dragota and Guimaraes. I hope I didn't butcher those names. But Max Landis does the writing. Oh my god. And to think, I almost skipped this book. But I found it right over here on these shelves right here at Arkham Comics. And my girlfriend's mother said, yeah, pick that book up. It's good. And I'm thankful I listened. Because this was good. And here's the surprising thing. I'm not the world's biggest Superman fan. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I respect this motherfucker. But I've never been his biggest fan. Never really been his biggest fan. And I don't have that big of a Superman collection. But I wanted to give this a look. When I saw it over there, I went, I need to read it. And man, I read it and I went, here's my money. Sold. This was good. This was really good. I always get a kick out of, seeing different takes on Clark Kent's childhood. Everybody's got their own different takes on what happened here or what happened there. And man, this was entertaining. This was fun. This was captivating. The writing was fluid. The pacing was good. The artwork was great. The artwork, the way the facial expressions were drawn, you could just see the emotion in every character throughout every step of the story, and this was just really damn good. Now, was it great in terms of action and suspense and all that stuff? No. This was a solid read about Clark Kent coming to grips with his powers. And also we get an interesting aspect of Jonathan Kent starting to grow closer to Clark, because you see in this book, Jonathan was not quite as accepting to raising Clark as we would believe, but as the story progressed in this issue, you started to see that bond slowly manifest into something special, and that's another thing about this book that I really loved. And I'm going to stop right there because I don't want to ruin the rest of the book. All I'm going to say is I really loved this book. I really thought it was entertaining, it was captivating, it was fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm forever grateful that I picked it up. This is awesome. Really good stuff. This gets a 4, maybe even a 4.5. But I highly recommend you get on board with this series. If the rest of the series is as good as this issue was, sold. This is awesome. Well, that's all I got for this review, everybody. I want to thank y'all for watching. Don't forget, go to my Twitter page and my Tumblr page if you want a shot at some free Marvel codes. Another shout out to my bro, TheMtVernonKid, for his comic book review channel. As always, the link to his comic book review channel will be in the description below. I am pointing to the floor. And also, I want to give him a big thank you for sending me a stash of books from Midtown Comics, and as soon as I get those books read, I'll be reviewing them in my next Midtown Comics stash on my Blugoblin X channel. I also got a few other things I want to do for that channel as well as my Comic Conway stash and a few other reviews on there that I need to get caught up on. Don't forget Arkham Asylum Studio. Jennifer and I just recently came across some stuff that we might want to play with on that channel as well. Subscribe, like, thumbs up, follow me on here on YouTube, or you can look for me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, whatever drives you nuts, in a good way. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I am Groot, and I'll see y'all later.